This is the Ugee Graphic tablet model RB3C. I've got it kind of laying flat here because I've got it plugged in already because I want to kind of show how it works. But included here with the tablet, the USB connection cable for the computer, which I've already got connected here, a charging cable for the pen. This is the drawing pen. The stand for the drawing pen, which also, if you open that, includes the tips for the replacement for the drawing pen. There's 8 of those. A CD that includes the software here, which includes various drawing software and some utilities, including a little bit better manual, and then the actual printed manual, which is actually a pretty decent basic manual. Now this tablet's about 12 by 8 inches in size and about a 1/4 inch thick, with a 9 by 6 inch drawing area. It's got 3 different shortcut buttons here, that I would call it, on the bottom of the tablet. And there's also a power indicator light here as well. The underside of the tablet, I'll try to lift this up here, has 4 little non-skid feet for keeping it stable, on the on a flat surface. Now, one of the things I do with different electronic devices is I always try to look for the latest either software or firmware, and in this case drivers. But because this particular driver software that comes on the CD is actually old, and at least unlike a lot of brands, the website for Ugee actually has a download section for the different models of the tablets that they have, with various drivers for Windows 7, 8, and Mac. Now, I have a Windows 7 computer that I'm using this on. My one issue with that, though, is with the website, is it has the drivers, but it doesn't tell you what the version is and the date of that version when you try to download it. So, but it is a newer version of the driver. It's version 5.02. The CD has version 4.02. So keep that in mind. So I always make sure I get the latest drivers with stuff like this. So installing the driver is pretty easy. It's pretty quick. You do have to reboot your machine for the driver, but that's pretty quick and easy to do. The CD itself has basic drawings program called Ugee 2. I mean, it's rather basic, but if you're not looking for anything fancy as far as a drawing program, it works. It has a pretty decent online manual as well, a demo program, something called MBrush, which I think is for calligraphy or something along those lines, and they have what they call tablet software setup programs, which includes Pen Mail, Pen Notice, and Pen Signer. Again, all this software is rather basic, for that kind of stuff, and it seems like, at least according to what I could find, is most of this software has not been updated in several years. So it's rather basic stuff, and if you're looking for a richer software suite, you probably should go with something like Photoshop or something along those lines, because again, this is rather basic software. To me, the most useful of those programs is the utilities that allow you to sign documents, like the Pen Signer program. At least for me, it saves me from having to print a document, sign it, then rescan it in the computer, and email it to the sender. So I like that particular feature over the utilities that come with this set. So this also requires that you need to download Adobe Air with this as well. So you have to download and install that. Now, during the time that I'm installing all the drivers and the different utilities, I also charged the pen, which actually charged pretty quickly. Now, the tablet itself is pretty thin. It's lightweight. It seems to be made pretty well and seems to be good quality for the price, considering the price. The pen itself is pretty comfortable to hold and works well and seems to be pretty responsive in terms of drawing and you know, signatures and things like that. Now, for me personally, I can't draw very well. Basically, you know, I can't draw even a straight line with a ruler, as the old expression goes. But this does work pretty well and is very responsive. Now, the shortcut keys work with the Ugee program. I can't say how well they work with other programs, but you know, they do work the way they're supposed to for the software that comes with this. The tablet itself is pretty easy to set up, and the drivers are pretty, like I said, are pretty easy and quick. You just basically, once you get that done, you plug this in and go. Now, the one thing I kind of would like with this is I kind of wish there was a wireless version of this tablet, you know, as opposed to having to plug it into a computer. But I mean, for what it is, this works fine. I'm not a professional artist, and I think this, you know, tablet of this type, I can't say how it compares to other graphic tablets in terms of the ability, but for a beginner like me, this does work pretty well for the price. And again, like I said, the software is rather basic and could probably use some other features, but for, you know, a beginner, it'll work. But if you're looking for a little bit more richer feature, I would suggest looking for other type of software. But I'm going to show a demonstration here real quick of what it looks, how it works. Now, I've got the kind of the tablet here on my, because I'm trying to not block the screen here. I've got the pen here, but I'm going to basically just kind of draw, you know, some different little doodads here. Like I said, I'm a terrible drawer, but just to kind of show you how it works. And again, it shows, it is pretty responsive. It does work pretty well. And I think, like I said, for a beginner tablet, for a basic tablet, it works well. You could add some fancier software with this to work. Again, you know, with this, there's various different options, and let me try to slide this over a little bit further too, with different on the sides here for different types of, you know, whether you've got the eraser, crayon, marker, you know, you can use different types of things with this. But I mean, I think it works pretty well. I give it 4 stars.